Hi, everybody. My name is Gavin Poyer, and welcome back. Today, we're listening to Blonde by Frank Ocean. This is my first full actual album of Frank Ocean that I've listened to. I've heard bits and pieces of him here and there. You can go find other reactions to him here. Other than that, I'm probably just going to get straight into this because I know Frank Ocean is a great artist already. I love his music so far. We're going with number one, Nikes.
Bitches want Nike. They looking for a check. Tell them it ain't likely.
Right, so the high pitched voice wasn't expecting that. Have we heard that in his other songs? I think in Nights there were bits and pieces of it in there. Very, I don't know. It's just kind of a weird, strange choice that is interesting. It's an interesting way to lead off an album. Because I know that's not his real voice, but like it's intriguing. I like it. It piques your interest.
Said she need a ring like Carmelo. You must be on that white like Othello.
Nice.
All you want is Nikes, but the real ones, just like you, just like me. I don't play, I don't make time, but if you need dick, I got you, and I am from the line.
So far, it seems like a lot of materialistic things, with the main focus on it being Nikes, just because it's like a name brand and a lot of people wear them. They're expensive shoes, or they can be expensive shoes at least. You know, she said she needed a ring like Carmelo. You must be on that white like Othello. Very good reference, by the way. William Shakespeare. Love it. Yeah. So lots of materialistic things going on right now.
What for ASAP? R.I.P. Pimp C. R.I.P. Trayvon. That
Nice.
nigga look just like me. Fucking bison. That my little cousin. He got a little tray. His girl keep the scales. A little mermaid. We out by the pool. Some little mermaids. Me and them gel. Like twigs with the bangs. Now that's a real mermaid.
Interesting. Lots of play on words kind of thing going on. He seems to be, like, so far in my experience with the song, seems to be really well spoken and chooses his words very carefully. His girl keep the scales, a little mermaid. We out by the pool, some little mermaids. Me and them gel like twigs with them bangs. Now that's a real mermaid. Just very articulate, and I love the use of the word mermaid. It's said a little bit different every time. With different meaning behind it. With the scales and everything, that's a little more fish, and with the pool, we're probably talking about kids doing some kind of mermaid. I don't know exactly.
You know your breath with it down. Punk madre, punk papa. You don't care for me, but he cares for me. And that's That's good. We don't talk much or nothing, but when we talk about something, we have good discussion. I met his friends last week. Feel like they're up to something that's good for us.
Nice. I mean, so far it's been just uh I don't know, I feel like in Frank Ocean there's a lot of different components you have to kind of consider and adjust to. You know, on the first listen of Frank Ocean, you're probably not going to get it. You're not going to understand everything. You're not going to hear all the integral parts that kind of go into his work. I'm not trying to make him sound like he's some otherworldly genius or anything like that, but his music seems to be pretty complex with just kind of a lot of things that go into it.
We'll let you guys prophesy. We'll let you guys prophesy. We gon' see the future first. We'll let you guys prophesy. We gon' see the future first. Living so the last night feels like a past life. Speaking of the don't know what got into people. Devil be possessing homies. Demons try to body jump. Why you think I'm in this bitch wearing a fucking yarmulke? Acid on me like the rain. Weed crumbles in the glitter. Rain, glitter. We laid out.
Acid on me like rain, weed crumbles into glitter, rain, glitter. Like, stuff like that is kind of just it's just throughout his music. Like this entire kind of song has moments like that that are just really beautiful, um, really beautifully written, you know. And I'm sure that Frank probably does all his writing, at least probably most of it. I'm assuming. If you have any more information on that, let me know. Uh, I'm assuming that he does most of his work by himself, just because he seems like that kind of guy, kind of isolated and such.
Out on the sweat flow, away turf, no astro. Mesmerized how the strobes glow. Look at all the people feet dance. I know that your nigga came with you, but he ain't with you. We only human and it's humid in these bar mains. I mean my balls sticking to my jeans. We breathing pheromones, amber rose, sipping pink gold lemonades. Feeling I may be younger, but I look after you. We're not in love, but I make love to you. When you're not here, I'll save some for you. I'm not him, but I mean something to you.
I'm not him, but I'll mean something to you. There's something about that that really gets me. You know, it's kind of like that thing where you see another person with somebody else, but I think you know deep down that you'd probably be better for them in a way. At least that's kind of what I'm seeing out of this. Uh, I don't think it's necessarily jealousy components. I think it's more like him saying that he's probably good for this person, that they kind of belong together.
I mean something to you. I mean something to you. You gotta roll me, he'll hear what we do. It's only awkward if you're fucking him too.
Really interesting start so far. I'm not quite sure what to think. I don't know if I think this whole album will probably need a re-listen after I'm done with this because, you know, obviously I'm not going to get everything that I want out of a first listen, but like It's a good start so far. It's a very interesting intro. Lots of different things happening, lots of words spoken, lots of beautiful poetry. Just off to a good start. Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, and we are officially on our way to doing Blonde. I feel like this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while because I've heard Frank Ocean here and there, and he's always been one of those artists that have intrigued me, for one reason or another. He just seems like that kind of guy. Anyways, we're on to number two, Ivy.
I thought that I was dreaming when you said you loved me. The start of nothing, I had no chance to prepare, I couldn't see you coming. The start of nothing, ooh, I could hate you now. It's quite alright to hate me now. When we both know that deep down, the feeling still deep down is good. If I could see through walls, I could see you faking. If you could see my thoughts, you would see your faces. Safe in my rental, like an armored truck back then.
It seems that he kind of focuses a lot on a lot more slower, more methodical songs. At least that's what it seems like to me. Nights, biking, Chanel, Nikes, like all of those so far have been kind of at a slower pace and more. I don't know. Just seems like more of a methodical approach to it. Um, and again, I'm not trying to make him sound like some kind of genius, but that's just kind of what I'm seeing through his music.
We didn't give a fuck back then. I ain't a kid no more. We'll never be those kids again. We tried the six, had the X6 back then. Back then, no matter what I did, my waves wouldn't dip back then. Everything sucked back then. We were friends. I thought that I was dreaming when you said you loved me. The start of nothing, I had no chance to prepare, I couldn't see you coming.
Cool. I think this is kind of reflecting on, I don't know, the change in the relationship, it seems. Obviously they knew each other when they were young. You know, I ain't a kid no more, we'll never be those kids again. Um, and now it seems that, the relationship has developed to the point where they could hate each other now. Just through example of the course.
The start of nothing, ooh, I could hate you now. It's quite alright to hate me now. But we both know that deep down, the feeling still deep down is good. In the halls of your hotel, arm around my shoulder so I can tell how much I meant to you, meant to sincere back then. We had time to kill back then. You ain't a kid no more. We'll never be those kids again. It's not the same. Ivory's is good. Don't you remember?
This is kind of heartbreaking in a way. I like the way that it's kind of slowly building up in a way. I can kind of feel the tempo rising and the instruments getting a little bit more prominent. Um, and it's kind of just, adding to the emotion of everything. It seems pretty deep. It seems pretty deep. It seems like he's absolutely genuine about this. This heartbreak, this separation between the two.
Broke your heart last last week, you'll probably feel better by the weekend. Still remember, had you going crazy, screaming my name. The feeling deep down is good. I thought that I was dreaming when you said you loved me. The start of nothing, had no chance to prepare, couldn't see you coming. And we started from nothing. Ooh, I couldn't you now.
It is kind of true that like every relationship kind of does start from nothing, right? You know, you kind of build the relationship, you know, you work with the other person, you know, things happen, mistakes happen, fights happen, but if you are able to construct a positive attitude towards it, then you can probably both come out the other side better and more knowledgeable about each other. But, you know, that doesn't happen in life a lot of the times. it can, but there's a lot of communication that needs to happen. There's a lot of different kind of aspects that go into it. So much so that, you know, a lot of relationships fail because of the lack of, you know, communication and things that have happened. You know, some things just can't be mended.
It's alright to hate me now. We both know that deep down the feeling still deep down is good. All the things I didn't mean to say, I didn't mean to do. There were things you didn't need to say. Did you need to? Need to?
Okay, so I'm probably gonna take it back a few seconds, by the way. There's the high pitched voice again, but this time it feels a lot more impactful, because I feel like we're kind of learning about this relationship, right? And the song has progressed in such a way that we know how he feels now, you know? And to me, this high pitched voice seems more like a cry for help in a way, or just like some kind of emotional outburst. Very, very cool. I like this. That that got me. That gave me extreme chills. Almost haunting in a way. Uh, I could definitely tell there was a lot of emotion coming out of that, though. Um, that was a really cool one. Slow, but I'm not necessarily, you know, opposed to a slow song. Like that was really beautiful. Especially the way that that wrapped up with the high pitched voice and everything. Okay, we're on to number 3, Pink plus White, or Pink and White, however you want to say it, really.
Yeah, that's the way every day goes. Every time we've no control. If the sky is pink and white, if the ground is black and yellow, it's the same way you showed me. Nod my head, don't close my eyes. Halfway on a slow move. It's the same way you showed me. If you could fly, then you'd feel south. Up north's getting cold soon. The way it is, we're on land, so I'm someone to hold true. Keep you cool when it's still alive. Won't let you down when it's all ruined.
I I can already tell that this might be one of my favorite songs on the album so far. It's hard to tell, obviously, but like there was instant, um, just lose of loss of control. When a song hits you in a very specific way and your body just kind of follows the motion of the beat or whatever. That's kind of what it was like for me. I like this a lot, and it's really funny because I'm reading on Genius that this was produced by Pharrell Williams, which makes sense because also backing vocals from Beyonce. Wow. Which makes sense because I love Pharrell. I love his music. I love his production. I think that makes a lot of sense. This seems more like a song that I would repeat. I don't think I would necessarily do that with the first two. I think the first two are for very specific emotions and times. But this one seems more kind of everyday kind of thing, or at least something I would hear more.
Just the same way you showed me, you showed me love, glory from above, regardless, dear, it's all downhill from here, in the wake of a hurricane, dark skin of a summer shade, nosedive in the floodlines, tall tower, milk crate. It's the same way you showed me. Cannonball off the porch side, older kids trying off the roof.
Yeah, this is a good one. Like the guitar that just kind of got introduced or became more prominent sounds clean, and I love the beat of the drums. It just kind of keeps everything in motion, and the way Frank kind of just flows on top of everything. It's just, oof, this is definitely going to be one of my favorites on the album. I don't see any way that it can't be because this is just all positive so far. Like nothing bad at all.
Just the same way you showed me, you showed. If you could die and come back to life, up for air from the swimming pool, you kneel down to the dry land, kiss the earth that birthed you, gave you tools just to stay alive and make it out when the sun is ruined. That's the same way you showed me, you showed me love.
Sometimes when I hear songs like this, I won't necessarily pay attention to the lyrics as much just because I'm so focused on the sound of everything. And this is probably one of those songs. So sorry if you're looking for lyrical breakdown, but like right now I'm just like in the zone. Because this one is really speaking to me. It's really good.
Michael Jackson, all this shit. Say what up to Randy, the shoe. Say what up to Danny. Say what up to life. I'm telling you. Rolling up my bikes, running up. Not for me. 18, still in Granny 6. Take it easy. Give me some sweet. Bitch, I might like immortality.
Right. And we just heard Beyonce, and she sounds beautiful over this. Actually, I'm gonna take it back just to kind of re-listen to her because that melded so well. Kind of just like this whole outro piece is. Good.
Say what up to life.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's been my favorite so far, but it's only been three songs, literally. I think out of like 17. So we still have a long ways to go, but I really enjoyed that one. Um, so we are now on to number four, Be Yourself.
Many college students have gone to college and gotten hooked on drugs, marijuana, and alcohol. Listen, stop trying to be somebody else. Don't try to be someone else. Be yourself and know that that's good enough. Don't try to be someone else. Don't try to be like someone else. Don't try to act like someone else. Be yourself. Be secure with yourself. Rely and trust upon your own decisions, on your own beliefs. You understand the things that I've taught you. Not to drink alcohol, not to use drugs. Don't.
So I agree with things that she's saying, but I don't agree with things that she's saying at the same time. Like, don't drink, don't do drugs. If you think about it, I'm not advocating for this, by the way, but if you think about it, college is kind of the perfect time to experiment with those things, to make mistakes and get it out of the way as long as it is not dangerous. It's not in a dangerous environment. It won't get you killed, you know. And you won't necessarily get addicted to those things unless you just, I don't know, use it every single day. Marijuana isn't really bad for you. It's not. It can put you in a certain mindset, yes, but it's not going to kill you. It's not. It's never killed anybody before unless you just take all of it. I think you have to go nuts in order for it to actually kill you. But it ain't bad for you in any sense. Okay, maybe in some senses, but the point is, experiment. Yeah.
Don't use that cocaine or marijuana because that stuff is highly addictive. When people become weed heads, they become sluggish, lazy, stupid, and unconcerned. Sluggish, lazy, stupid, and unconcerned.
Which is probably true. Is probably true, but it can also open up your mind in various different ways. It makes music sound better. You become closer to your body than you ever have before. You just experience things differently. And sometimes it could be used for mental health, you know, something to consider, but it does, make you sluggish, lazy. I wouldn't say stupid. Unconcerned, maybe.
That's all marijuana does to you. Okay? This is Mom. Unless you're taking it under doctor's control, then it's regulated. Do
Okay.
not smoke marijuana. Do not consume alcohol. Do not get in the car with someone who is inebriated. This is Mom. Call me. Bye.
Okay, yeah, and I think there was a lot of truth within what she said, but obviously, um, I don't know, like you can do whatever you want, really. You don't have to listen to your parents necessarily. They have a lot of knowledge for sure, and you should take their advice with a grain of salt. It could be annoying sometimes, but they do have advice. They do have legit advice, and it's not something that should be pushed aside necessarily. Um, okay, cool. That was a nice little kind of just interlude. Was that Frank's mom? Maybe? I don't know. On to number five, Solo.
Hand me a towel, I'm dirty dancing by myself, gone off tabs of that acid. Form me a circle, watch my Jagger. Might lose my jacket and hit.
Hold on. So we just had an interlude about not taking drugs, not drinking. Probably the second line in this is gone off tabs of that acid. So, you know, did you listen? But that's okay because you already heard what I said.
The solo one time. We too loud in public, them police turned down a function. Now we outside and the time is perfect. Forgot to tell you, gotta tell you how much I vibe with you.
Yes.
And we don't gotta be solo. Now stay away from highways, my eyes like them red lights. Right now I prefer yellow, red bone, so mellow, fuck around, be cutting you. Think we were better off solo. I got that act right in the windy city that night. No trees to blow through, but blow me, and I owe you 2 grams from the sunrise.
It seems like another slow-paced song, but I feel like there are things that are going to get implemented later on that are just gonna kind of amass in this huge, just cacophony of beautiful sounds. That's kind of the way that his songs have been working out so far, and I like it because it's always something to look forward to. There's always something to kind of pick out in the background or lyrics to kind of look at. I'm not going to get all the lyrics right on the first try. Even if I have Genius pulled up, there's just too much to consider. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of poetry to kind of decipher, because the way that he talks isn't, it's poetic, you know, and sometimes poems are hard to break down.
Smoking good, rolling solo. 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 It's hell on earth and the city's on fire. In hell, there's heaven. There's a bull and a matador dueling in the sky. In hell, there's heaven.
Beautiful, but there's a bull and a matador dueling in the sky. What does that mean? A reference to the Taurus and Orion constellations. Oh, okay. I guess that does make sense. Just kind of like the stars in the sky and everything. So yeah, okay. Interesting. Like, so things like that, for example, are kind of hard to understand on the first listen without like extra help. So that's really useful. Because who's gonna know that off the first, like, come on. If you say you understand that on the first listen, do you? Do you? I'm sure you do, but like, I don't. Yes.
I'm skipping showers and switching socks, sleeping good and long, bones feeling dense as fuck. Wish a nigga would cross and catch a solo on time. White leaf on my boxers, green leaf turn to vapors for the low. And that mean cheap cause ain't shit free and I know it. Even love ain't cause it's not cost, that clinic killed my soul. But you gotta hit the pussy roto. Now
I understood that. Yeah, I understood that last part. But, a main chunk of this is just kind of indecipherable in a way, or at least I can't understand it in the time that he says it. Very, very just obtuse language in a way. It's hard to kind of get around and, decipher what's going on necessarily. Even love ain't because this nuss.
Your baby mama ain't so vicious. All she want is her picket fence and you protest and you pick a sign, but them courts won't side with you. Won't let you fly solo. Yeah. I wanted that act right in Colorado that night. I brought trees to blow through, but it's just me and no you. Stayed up till my phone died. Smoking big, rolling.
So I think, I mean, based off the name and kind of the activities that have been going on, like, based off what you just said, smoking by yourself, there's a lot of being with yourself in this song, it seems like. And that's an invaluable tool if you know how to use it right. Some people can do magnificently by themselves and create some of their best work, probably Frank Ocean. And other people tend to want to be with other people at all times because they don't want to deal with themselves. They don't like being with themselves. I know a lot of people feel that way. I don't really feel that way. I think I enjoy my alone time. But I also really enjoy other people's company as well.
Solo. It's hell on earth and the city's on fire. In hell, there's heaven. There's a bull and a matador dueling in the sky. In hell, there's heaven. Oh, oh, oh,
Really interesting song so far. I just wanted to put focus on the line inhale, in hell there's heaven. So like inhale like breathing, and then inhale like the place that the I was gonna say fictional, but to some people it's very real. Um, just a very interesting kind of contrast there of using the same word, like he did with mermaids, for example, but in this way it's wordplay. Very interesting, very cool to kind of look at, dissect.
Awesome.
Interesting. I don't know. It seems I think that a lot of his songs are kind of contemplative. Um, it seems like something you would kind of listen to if you want to spend time with yourself, which is ironic because the song's called Solo, but it just feels like music you would probably listen to by yourself. Like, there's, it's a very specific kind of mood. It seems like music you could probably be yourself with, in a sense. Um, and maybe that's just because the song Solo was rubbing off on me, but it seems like music you would just close your eyes and kind of have a journey to. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting off of this. For number 6, we have Skyline 2.
This is joy, this is summer. Keep alive. Stay alive. Got your medal on. We're alone. Making sweet love, taking time. Look, God strikes us. That's a pretty fucking fast year flew by.
Yeah.
That's a pretty long third gear in this car. Gliding on the fire. The deer run across. Killer headlights.
Ooh.
Pretty fucking underneath moonlight now.
Interesting. So very, very kind of interesting stream of thoughts there. So where did that start? Where can we start with that? Um, we start by talking about the year flying by. Then we're talking about a long third gear in the car and, kind of riding along on like the interstate, and then deer comes across the headlights, and then headlights to the moonlight. That's just a really cool stream of consciousness. Lots of interesting ways that connected.
Pretty fucking sunrise in sight. And comes the morning, hunting us with the beams. So sustained as far as it used to be. It begins to blur, we get older. Blur. Summer's not as long as it used to be. Every day counts like crazy. Smoke. Haze. Wanna get soaked? Wanna film a tape on a speedboat? The smell of Californication. Everything grows in the Congo. Everything grows. Can you call?
I think I like the line, every day counts like crazy. Want to get soaked? Want to film a tape on a speedboat? I think that's pretty funny. I think lots of kind of just reflections on sex and kind of having a good time in a way. I think there are probably references of drugs somewhere in here. I don't know. We've seen a lot of weed so far by him. Weed, acid. Well, his mom mentioned cocaine, but I don't think he's said anything about cocaine so far. Uh, but we know that Frank Ocean is on that spiritual level,
When I call again.
What is that thing called where it's like an instrument, and it has a pole and like a little ball on top, and like you run your finger to the side of it and it makes like this weird kind of sound. That's kind of what I'm hearing in the background. If anybody knows what that is called, I want to say it starts with like a T or something. Um, Anyway, it's just like this really weird thing that just makes this kind of eerie, weird, high pitched sound, and that's kind of what it reminds me of in the background.
On comes the evening, gold seeking ends, peace in my hand, worth twice than a friend.
Ooh.
And two limbs over shoulder, carried away. Because I'm stronger, the Congo is down. Smoke. In comes the morning, smoke. In comes the morning.
Yeah, so we're definitely kind of talking about like weed and joints, right? Am I right? There's a lot of him to the side saying smoke or haze. He has a piece in his hand which could. The line is "piece in my hands worth twice than a friend." Could possibly refer to weed, right? Piece could also be a gun. I don't think that's the reference that he's making, though. Probably a joint, because sometimes smoking by yourself can just fix whatever needs to be fixed and could, I don't know, it just could, fulfill all your needs depending on if you like it or not. Kind of, I don't know, to me that seemed kind of like an in-between song, you know, something kind of like a halfway point, you know what I mean? Like a interlude song, but it's like an actual song. Anyways, we are on to number 7, self-control.
Poolside convo about your summer last night. Ooh, yeah, about your summer last night. Ain't give you no play. Could I make it shy last night? Could I make it shy on the last night? Could we make it in? Do we have time?
I'll be the boyfriend in your wet dreams tonight. Noses on a rail, little virgin, where's the white?
Nice.
You cut your hair, but you used to live a blinded life. Wish I was there, wish we'd grown.
So far, I just like the first 3 lines. They're very, again, I'm gonna say poetic, but like the way he just kind of describes things is so beautiful and I would say romantic in a way. Like, I'll be the boyfriend in your wet dreams tonight. Noses on a rail, little virgin, where's the white? Like, nice reference to virgins and white being purity, You cut your hair, but you used to live a blonded life. I'm not quite sure what that means exactly. Blonde is obviously the title of the album. I don't know the relevance of it quite yet. I probably won't even know the relevance by the end of the album, but hopefully you can help fill me in on that.
Grown up on the same advice, and our time was right.
Keep a place for me, I'll sleep between you, there's nothing. Keep a place for me.
Now and then you miss it, sounds make you cry. Some nights you dance with tears in your eyes.
So I think Frank Ocean, at least to me, when he is in his lane, it's about some kind of turmoil in a relationship or some kind of separation in a relationship. Mainly dealing with relationships, because I think that's where he gets a lot of his emotion. And we saw that on Pink and White, right? We saw that. I'm forgetting the names already. Yeah, anyways, let's just keep on going. But like Frank Ocean with breakup songs, that's where it's at. Like, this one's hitting.
I came to visit, 'cause you see me like a UFO. That's like never. 'Cause I made you use your self-control, and you made me lose my self-control, my self-control. place for me. I sleep between y'all, it's nothing.
So we get very few other voices within this album so far. We've heard Beyonce. This is Austin Feinstein and Yun Ling, two artists I've never heard of before, but it fits perfectly into the song. It's a nice little bit of spice, just because I like hearing different things. I wanted to point out, so the line is, I came to visit because you see me like a UFO. I think that's perfect. Because, so far Frank Ocean is just he's such a mystery. Everything about his music speaks mystery and just isolation in a way. Yeah, I think that would be proper. Uh, yeah. So a UFO is like perfect for that because we don't know, we don't know what it is. It's unidentified, right? Um, just really good wordplay. I like that.
Keep a place for me. It's nothing, it's nothing. It's nothing, it's nothing.
The transitions in his songs are some of the best. Some of the best, some of the smoothest, some that will just, I don't know. Nights and Chanel had some really beautiful transitions, much like this one, where it kind of integrates the strings in there and kind of just has like this nice, kind of calming effect. It feels light. It feels kind of like I'm floating on a cloud, even though I know that this is kind of like a heartbroken song. Um, Almost reassuring in a way. Sweet, beautiful. I could use so many words to describe it, but
Oh, you gotta leave, take down some summertime. Give up just a night. Oh, you got someone coming, you're spitting game. Oh, you got it. Oh, you gotta leave, take down some summertime. Give up just a night. Oh, you got someone coming, spitting game. Oh, you got it.
whoa. Uh, so I think that is probably one of the most beautiful moments on the album so far. Just the culmination of everything. Um, I don't know, just the way that his voice just comes in so strong and just overpowers you. I got tears in my eyes right now. And just my heart feels heavy. That's that's some strong music right there. That's what's up. I'm gonna take it back a few seconds just to kind of get into that again.
Oh, you got someone coming, spitting game. Oh, you got it. Yeah. Oh, you gotta leave, take down some summertime. Give up just a night. Oh, you got someone coming, spitting game. Oh, you got it.
What a beautiful ending. It's so like sad too, because I think like the point he's trying to get across is that this other person that we're kind of talking about is somebody that I don't think we're necessarily going to get back. And he wants, I don't know, I think he just wants more time with them, another night with them. But, that probably, I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen. Um, I think I still like Pink and White as my favorite, but that one probably had the best moment on the album so far, for me. There have been a lot of like satisfying parts, obviously. Um, but just like that outro is just blowing my mind. We're on to number 8, Good Guy.
It's a good guy, he hooked it up. Said if I was an NY, I should look you up. First time I ever saw you. And you text nothing like you look. Here's to the gay bar you took me to. Here's when I realized you talk so much more than I do. Here's highlights when I was convinced.
Some interesting things being said here. I think the line, and you text nothing like you look, really speaks to me. Because I feel like that's definitely true for a lot of people. Um, it's true. For some people, like you text like you look. Kind of just a really interesting sentence, because how can you tell what a person looks like based off the words they say? You can never really picture that. Really, really cool imagery. Maybe not. I guess there's no imagery at all, but like the thought of that is really provoking to me. I like that a lot.
Better much more than some nice shit. I know you don't need me right now. And to you, it's just a late night out.
It's just nigga, all the bitches in the neighborhood want to fuck me, nigga. You told me. I used to fuck with all of them.
Yeah, I ain't got bitches no more.
But now I don't care about bitches like that, my nigga. That shit, Jasmine fucking wrecked my heart. I don't even know how to feel about bitches.
Funny little outro. So, let me see. I've already listened to Nights. So I think I'm gonna skip it just for, just to make things a little bit quicker. But you can find that on my channel. It's pretty recent, maybe like a week ago. Loved it. We're on to number 10, the solo reprise. Hold on. Andre 3000? Okay. I'm listening.
So now I'm solo that I can see under the skirt of an ant. Solo that I don't get high no more when I Geronimo, I just go hand. Solo my cup is a rojo, my cholo, my friend. Solo that I can admit. When I hear that another kid is shot by the popo, it ain't an event. No more solo that no more high horses so hard to wear polo. When I do, I cut the pony off, now there's a hole that once was a logo. How fitting. Solo that I can give a fuck about what is trending. Trying to cut down on my spending regardless of winning instead of pretending and bending over backwards. Over half of these hoes had work done. Saying they want something real from a man, just saying that we being real persons. I hate that it's like this, I feel for you and I don't know what it's like with a skirt on. So pardon me if I am being insensitive, but darling, this only works, sons. So
wow. The funny thing is, this is only a minute, 20-second song. So far, Andre has said so many things, and he's about to say a lot more. Listen, if I know there's this huge conversation about like who's the best rapper, who's the best like hip hop artist, Like, if Andre 3000 isn't up there for you, I don't know how he isn't. The dude's nuts. Every single feature that he has had outside of Outkast has just been phenomenal. Like, go find him on anything, really, and he'll probably impress you. He'll probably say a lot of complicated, weird things. The dude's crazy. I love him. I love him.
Solo my halo, say way low, it feel like it's been. Solo that when they throw pussy or pesos, don't pay no attention to it. Solo that I am no rookie, but feel like a kid. Looking at the other kids with astonishment while I'm on punishment, watching the summer come close to an end. After 20 years in, I'm so naive, I was under the impression that everyone wrote their own verses. It's coming back different, and yeah, that shit hurts me. I'm humming and whistling to those not deserving. I stumbled and lived every word. Was I working just way too hard?
Wow. Interesting kind of thing to throw in the middle of your album. There's a kind of franticness to this that I kind of enjoy. Mostly because most of the album has been at a really slow pace so far and kind of heartbreaking, that this feels kind of like a natural, just something to naturally spice it up and get more, or just different emotions, because like franticness is a totally valid emotion, and I think I kind of like the way that Andre kind of portrays like Solo, for example. Like, this is kind of how the way he feels. Like, he said a lot of things in here, and I'm probably not going to understand any of it, so I'm probably just going to move on. But within my next listen of this, I'll probably go back and go more in depth on whatever the heck he said in here, because he said a lot of things. But really cool kind of reprise too on Solo. Okay, so we're on to number 11, Pretty Sweet.
To the edge I race, to the end I make it. All the risk I take it. Head bang with my 4 friends, we pour a taste off for the dead. This is the blood, the body, the life right now. The hype right now might be what I need. Might be what I need. Said you wanna hurt me now. You can't hurt me now. That might be what you need. What is to be alive on this side?
Weird. So immediately I feel disgusted in a way, not at the music, but like in the way it's performed and the way the sound is. Like, it just doesn't sound listen, before I say this, I don't mean anything about the song, but it doesn't sound good. Like, it kind of purposely sounds chaotic in a sense, and I think it naturally makes sense following the Andre 3000 kind of verse, where it's just quickly sped through and chaotic and crazy. So this makes sense to me, and I like it, but it just makes me feel awful.
I'm on this side. I'm on this side. I want this over right. I'm inside. I'm inside. My niggas for life. Brothers of us, be kind to the fathers of
This is I feel like every single song on this album so far has been extremely unique in their own way. I think this kind of tackles his sexuality a little bit, and um, I don't know. I feel like a lot of religious aspects are kind of going into this as well. You know, talking about um, on the side. I think that Frank Ocean came out as bisexual or gay. I don't actually know. Um, I think it's one of those two though, but I don't think he's straight. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. But like, you know, it seems to be kind of focusing on like getting out of the closet, so to speak, you know, coming out as um, you know, homosexual or bisexual, which is a very tough thing. You know, people don't necessarily respect that decision like most people should. I you know, you should love whoever you want to love, and there shouldn't be any kind of restraint on that. Nobody should tell you what's right, what's wrong. This is my own opinion, so if you don't necessarily believe in those things, that's okay. I don't agree with you, but that's okay. Okay, so um, apparently calling someone sweet or saying they have sugar in their step is an indirect way of calling them gay. And that's, I mean, that's in the South. Um, Frank was raised in New Orleans. You know, I'm not from the South, so I don't necessarily hear these terms, but interesting that they're brought up in the song. And I'm glad that Frank kind of tackles these issues in his music. I'm sure that he has a lot of content concerning his sexuality, I'm assuming, just because I know that the public seems to focus on it a lot, and they shouldn't necessarily do that because, you know, whoever you're gonna love is whoever you're gonna love, and that's okay. It's not anybody else's business. It's not the media's business. It's not Jimmy on the corner's business. You know, it's his own business. You know, it's a relationship. It should be within that. I don't know. Eh, it's rough. It's a rough world. You know, so far there have been just kind of like a lot of topics that have been covered. You know, we've covered sexuality. There has been some religious aspects to this. There's been a lot of isolation and loneliness. We've gotten some materialism in there, fame, you know, just kind of like a lot of things, and it seems overwhelming in a sense, and I can only imagine how Frank feels. And to me, that's kind of what the album is meaning to me so far, is kind of all his thoughts, all his actions, you know, everything that has happened to him or is happening to him has happened to him. kind of represented in songs. And I know that's what most people do, but this seems really personal. Um, you know, lots of kind of things going on. Anyways, we are on to number 12, which is Facebook story.
No, I was just telling that I got this girl before, and I was together since 3 years, and I was not even cheating her or what. And Facebook arrived, and she wanted me to accept her on Facebook, and I don't want it because I was like in front of her, and she told me like accept me on Facebook. It was virtual, means no sense. So I said I'm in front of you. I don't need to accept you on Facebook.
Right.
She started to be crazy. She thought that because I didn't accept her, she thought I was cheating.
No, I think that is a huge miscommunication there. I think what we're seeing is somebody that likes to live in the moment, and doesn't necessarily align themselves with social media. So when you ask somebody like that to friend them on Facebook, especially when you're right in front of their face, they don't necessarily understand the meaning behind that. While the other person is probably thinking that, oh, this is a good way to stay in contact. When we're apart, we can message each other, stuff like that. I can keep up with what you're doing, but from his perspective, he's probably thinking that it doesn't make sense if I'm living in the present moment with you. I think it's just a little bit of miscommunication. And honestly, the fact that she thinks he is cheating based off the fact that he won't accept him on Facebook is a little iffy. I don't know about that, but yeah, I get being in the present moment. So I kind of understand what he's saying.
She told me like it's over. Yeah, I can't believe you. I said, come on, you're crazy. So like I'm in front of you. I'm every day here in your house, but it means like it's jealousy, pure jealousy, for nothing. Virtual thing.
And that's a result of the digital age, which has altered people's minds in a way. It's made them less focused on the here and now and more focused on the past and future. And in doing so, you can kind of lose reality in a way because you're always stuck between two and never in the middle. Um, Really interesting concept that I kind of align myself with. I definitely get it, but I know that social media and everything has potential. You just can't get so stuck into it that you forget about everything around you. Um, in a way, there's a little bit of Buddhism in that, or Buddhism teachings, stuff like that. Just mindfulness kind of thing. We are on to number 13, close to you.
I'll be honest, I wasn't devastated, but you could've held my hand through this, baby. Let my mind run underneath oranges. I run my hands through what's left, but we're getting older, baby. Don't have much longer, baby. Why am I preaching?
So I'm rating that this is a cover of Stevie Wonder's "Close to You." I don't think I've heard that song. Maybe I have. I just don't. It doesn't seem familiar in this format, just because I know that Frank Ocean probably altered it in his own way. Like, I'm sure Stevie Wonder did not sound like this. um, which is good because I like when artists do covers that sound nothing like the original, but also keep the same spirit as the original, if that's not too confusing. Yeah, so this is pretty neat, but I would need to hear the original song in order to get a deeper sense of it, you know?
Till it's quiet to this atheist. Just like mine. Versions of these belong to you. After a while, they're keeping me close to you.
Um, so there were a lot of kind of interesting, like 1 minute interludes within this. There's one with the mom talking. There's this one. There was the Andre 3000 one. Lots of little bit of sections that are kind of culminating in like this huge mass of work. I don't necessarily mind them. I think they fit pretty well within the project and keep things kind of spaced in a way. And they're all 1 minute, which is really nice. You know, they're all short, and that's always good. You know, short is always good. Anyways, we are on to number 14, which is White Ferrari.
Bad luck to talk on these rides. Mine on the road, your dilated eyes. Watch the clouds float, white Ferrari. Had a good time. 16, how was I supposed to know anything? I let you out at Central. I didn't care to stay the plane. Kept my mouth closed. We're both so familiar.
Interesting. Again, another slow, drawn out song, but I think what we've learned so far is that it usually adds up into this huge kind of moment. At least that seems to be the way that a lot of his songs have been structured so far. You know, there has been like this slow kind of rise into this really, really beautiful moment. Yeah, it seems like it's going to be one of those.
White Ferrari. Stick by me, close by me. You will find, you will find. As this the slow ride. Left when I forget to speak. So I text the speech, lesser speeds, Texas speed, yes. Basic takes its toll on me eventually, yes. On me eventually, yes. I care for you still, and I will forever.
That second verse is really cool. I think there was a lot of, I don't know, just repetition that was really intriguing. Um, you left when I forgot to speak, which is just, you know, a statement in itself. So I text the speech, lesser speeds, Texas speed, yes. Basic takes its toll on me, eventually, yes. All on me, eventually, yes. Yeah, like, there's something about the repetition there that really, kind of makes that verse pop for me. Repetition can be used really good, like here, or it could be really bad. Um, like, some will agree, some won't agree. Like Playboy Cardi, for example, has a lot of repetition, which can work really well, or other times it just, you know, you want to hit skip on the song because it just does the same thing over and over and over. I know a lot of people like him, but I haven't really listened to a lot of his work. But it's really repetitive.
That was my part of the deal. Honest, we got so familiar. Spending each day of the year, white Ferrari, good times. In this life, in this life. One too many years, some tattooed eyelids on a facelift.
It's moments like these where I just want to break down. It's when his voice just explodes and there's kind of like this soft guitar in the background. Happened kind of multiple times on this album so far, but every time it's hit in a different way. It may be covering some of the same subject matter, but it's always spoken of in such an eloquent way that it seems. I mean, it is different every time, but it does seem different every time. He knows how to make things interesting for sure. This whole album has just been a ride.
Mind over matter is magic. I do magic. If you think about it, you'll spend no time.
So many things kind of just happened in my ears at one given time. I don't know what to think about that. That was a lot of weird, different sounds. I'm gonna take it back just to kind of re-listen to that. See if I can pick out anything more. Yeah, he can really create some heavy stuff. It's like a cacophony of his voice. Some of it honestly sounds like wailing or screaming in a way. But, if you weren't paying full attention to it, you wouldn't necessarily hear that. It sounds painful. It sounds painful but beautiful at the same time, and it's very conflicting. Makes me want to cry though. A lot of these songs kind of do. He seems like he's going through a lot.
I'm sure we're taller in another dimension. You say we're small and not worth the mention. You're tired of moving, your body's aching. We could vacate, there's places to go. Clearly this isn't all that there is. Can't take what's been given, but we're so okay here, we're doing fine. Mama and naked, you dream of walls that hold us in prison. It's just a scullies, that's what they call it.
I really like the term primal and naked just because you, if you take a relationship back to, the basics, you're probably not going to run into a ton of problems. I think in a way it's kind of, um, focusing on like the honeymoon phase of a relationship. You're not going to see problems in the other person. You're kind of just going to have fun. Um, there is no fights, just straight up adventures, doing whatever, really. It doesn't matter what you're doing in this phase, at least. So to me, that's kind of what primal and naked means, is that reversal of the relationship and going back to the beginning. Ooh, wait, we're hearing something. Yeah. So far, album's been overwhelming in a good way, but my mind is just like, I'm sorry, Frank Ocean. I'm sorry you're going through all this, Um, it kind of puts your mind in like a really interesting headspace. I'm not thinking like Frank Ocean, but I'm kind of trying to put myself in his shoes, and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good at all. There's a lot of heartbreak. There's a lot of isolation. But I think within that isolation, it allows for work like this to take place, to happen. And boy, am I thankful for it, because this is just, it's a piece of work. Okay. We're on to number 15, Siegfried.
The markings on your surface, your speckled face, flood crystals hang from your ears. I couldn't gauge your fears.
Yes. Frank Ocean kind of just has like this, I don't know, just this kind of tone to him where you could, like I said before, like his lane is kind of breakup songs. And it seems that might be the direction we're kind of headed towards. Um, and this kind of this whole album so far has kind of just been like a heartbroken mess. The songs aren't a mess, but like I think narratively that's kind of what it's been. Just a lot of hurt, a lot of hurt. Some good moments though.
I can't relate to my peers. I'd rather live outside. I'd rather chip my pride than lose my mind out here. Maybe I'm a fool. And maybe I should move and settle. 2 kids in a swimming pool. I'm not brave. I'm not brave.
There's a lot of rawness to this one, that I didn't necessarily see in some of the other ones, just off the fact of how he pronounced some of these words and how he said it. Like, there's more of a bit of a screaming and a shouting that is more authentic in this one. Not that it wasn't before, but this one seems, I don't know, kind of like a breakdown in a way. You know, when you have all these things kind of pent up inside you, and there's that one thing that just sets you off. You know, it could be something so minuscule, like, um, you know, finding out, like if you're going to get food, right? You're going into your freezer or your fridge or whatever, and you have this specific thing in your mind, and it isn't there. That's the kind of thing that can kind of set you off. And I'm not saying that's what this is happening, but it feels like that emotion to me.
I'm living over city and taking in the homeless sometimes. I've been living in an idea from another man's mind. Maybe I'm a fool to settle for a place with some nice views. Maybe I should move, settle down, 2 kids.
Right. So I think with this, we're kind of seeing like this big conflict of trying to settle down or like live outside or, you know, kind of being on the outskirts. Because I'm sure that people tell him one thing, or society tells him one thing while he thinks another. Like maybe he wants to live on like a farm or something where it's kind of isolated and nice, and you have like this big field and flowers and everything, as opposed to being in like a big city. You know, 2 kids in a swimming pool, like you settled down, right? I don't know. To me, Frank Ocean seems much more at home um, when he is isolated, which sounds bad, but it sounds to me like he could be that kind of person. I think he just needs like a companion, you know, somebody to be with him.
In a swimming pool, I'm not brave. I'd rather live outside. I'd rather live outside. I'd rather go to jail. I've tried hell. What would you recommend I do? The other side of the moon.
There's so many things happening in this one. I'd rather live outside. I'd rather live outside. I'd rather go to jail. Okay, so we understand how he feels, right? Like he would rather not. He would rather not conform to what everybody else is doing by living the, you know, typical American nuclear family kind of style. You know, does he want a family? I don't know necessarily, but I know that he doesn't want to live like the normal American. I mean, I feel like that's just kind of obvious based on how he talks and the kind of music that he creates. Like this guy doesn't want normal. I do this for normal because normal doesn't make sense. There's no normal, but most people understand what it means when I say that.
This is not my life. It's just a fond farewell to a friend. It's just a fond farewell to a friend. This is not my life. It's just a fond farewell to a friend. It's not what I'm like. It's just a fond farewell. Speaking of Nirvana, it was there. Rare as the feathers on my dash from a phoenix. There with my crooked teeth and companion sleeping. Yeah.
The imagery is so alive in a lot of his verses, especially when he tries to speak poetically and kind of have like a stream of consciousness kind of thing. Whereas the feathers on my dash from a phoenix, there with my crooked teeth and companion sleeping. Like, that's just descriptive. You get the perfect image in your head. Like the crooked teeth part specifically, because he could just said, like, I'm there sleeping with my companion, but he had to add in additional details, which is just extra flavor, it's just extra vision, extra details. It's beautiful.
Dreaming a thought that could dream about a thought that could think of the dream of the thought that could think of dreaming and getting a glimmer of God.
Holy crap, what? Wait. Let me dreaming a thought that could dream about a thought that could think of the dreamer that thought that could think of dreaming and get a glimmer of God. Huh? It's a lot. It's a lot. There's a lot to consider with this music. I mean, just based off whatever the heck that is.
I be dreaming a thought that could dream about a thought that could think of dreaming a dream where I cannot. Less morose and more present. Dwell on my gifts for a second. A moment. One solar flare would consume, so why not? Spin this flammable paper on the film that's my life. High flights and hell.
This is cool. This is really cool. I like that saying a lot. So, one solar flare were consumed, meaning that basically the world could end at any moment. We do have a giant earthquake that is scheduled to happen supposedly within our lifetime. Could happen within our lifetime, and it could just kill a lot of people. It could change the world. A solar flare could happen and we could all just die, so why not spend the money on the film that is my life? Meaning, have fun, spend money while it's there. I guess don't go too crazy, but like, live your life. Live your life while you're here,
The vapor, exhale once and think twice. Eat some shrooms, maybe have a good cry about you. See some colors, light hang glide off the moon. In the dark, I do anything for you. In the dark, I do anything for you.
Oh, by the way, some marijuana, acid, shrooms. Yeah, we were right. Like, he's on some spiritual stuff. Like, what do you say? What do you say about shrooms? Eat some shrooms, maybe have a good cry about you. Shrooms can be seen as something very constructive. It could help you kind of realize something that you haven't before and can kind of fix things. It's also, I want to say that it's proven to have positive effects towards you. I think it just makes you more clear-headed in a way and brings you closer to nature and the world in itself. Interesting, though.
In the dark, I do anything for you. In the dark, I do anything for you. In the dark, I do anything for you. I do anything for you.
For some reason, I feel like at the end of this album, I'm just gonna be smarter. I feel like there's a lot of um, just general, maybe not general, but things about life within this album that makes you think, like, huh, I've never thought about that before. Certain lines have definitely popped out to me and have kind of made me go on these like tangents that I've never thought of. But I do have things to say, which is interesting because, I've never necessarily thought about any one of these things before, but, here they are. Wow. We're on to number 16, which is Godspeed.
I will always love you how I do. Let go of a prayer for you, just a sweet word.
What a strong, what a strong start. Pulling out a lot of emotion just straight out of the gate. I think he's really good at doing that. Is finding that emotion for the song, whatever suits the song, and then just going 100% into it. Because you can definitely feel it. Like it's just as soon as you start speaking, especially in this one, especially in this one.
The table is prepared for you. Wishing you Godspeed, glory. There will be mountains you won't move.
Yep.
Still, I'll always be there for you. How I do.
So there will be mountains you won't move. Like there are some things in life that you probably just won't either accomplish or do get a full grasp on. And that's okay. You know, there's always going to be something like that will stop you. You just can't let it get to you. I'm reading off on the side that this is an allusion to Matthew 17:20. I'm not really familiar with the Bible, at least not that close. I've read it before, but I don't necessarily remember quotes like that. But lots of kind of religious aspects throughout the song so far.
I let go of my claim on you. It's a free world. You look down on where you came from sometimes, but you'll have this place to call on always.
Like I've been saying, there are just so many components throughout a Frank Ocean song. I feel like if you tried to make your own Frank Ocean song, could you? Because he is so specific and particular about his own music that nobody else really sounds like him. Which, I mean, should be the case for every artist, they should be their own thing, but like, especially Frank. He's kind of like, just like an enigma. Nobody's like him. Well, I mean, that's probably not true. I'm sure there are people like him, but artistically speaking, artistically speaking.
It's till the time we die. I'll always love you until the time we die.
Wow. There are some really sweet moments on here. Some really heartbreaking moments on here as well. It's kind of just bringing me through the full range of emotion. Godspeed was, I think, more hopeful. I mean, mainly based off just the title of the song. Like, Godspeed means like wellness to somebody on a journey, right? So wishing them luck. So in a sense, the song really captured that. It felt hopeful, you know. Um, we're on to the last song, number 17, Futura Free. Not sure what that means exactly.
If I was being honest, I say long as I can fuck 3 times a day and not skip a meal, I'm good. I used to work on my feet for $7 an hour. Call my mama like, mama, I ain't making minimum wage, mama. I'm on, mama, I'm on.
Interesting. So I think, I mean, just based off kind of like the first, few lines, this seems like a very reflective track. I think kind of covering where he's been, because we're starting about, um, making $7 an hour, making minimum wage, meaning that it's going back to him kind of just working just like a job, right? And I'm sure it's going to fast forward to him to where he is now.
Now I'm making 400, 600, 800K, mama, to stand on my feet, mama. Play these songs, it's therapy, mama. They paying me, mama. I should be paying them. I should be paying y'all, honest to God. I'm just a guy, I'm not a god. Sometimes I feel like I'm a god, but I'm not a god. If I was, I don't know which heaven would have me, mama. Let me run this bitch, I'm running to the ground, mama, the whole galaxy. Goddamn, fuck these lanes, they don't want none. Fuck these lanes, they don't want none. Fuck these niggas. Fuck these niggas, they don't want none. Fuck these niggas. Fuck you niggas. Fuck me, if I hated on you.
This is cool. I like that he acknowledges that he feels like a god. But in the same line, he kind of discredits it at the same time. Sometimes I feel like a god, but I'm not a god. I like that. I like that a lot because I feel like we all have that kind of feeling, right? We have moments where we probably feel like a god, but we know that we're not. We know that we're not. We're never going to. It's such. I feel like it's such a heavy phrase, because there is this whole religious aspect to it. A god is something that isn't human. It's something way bigger than we are. So how could we ever obtain that? I think that's where I have trouble with Frank Ocean, is because people kind of perceive him as a god, and I just, you know, I don't really, I don't really see any artist as a god. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't think you should hold people in such a high regard. Sure, there is validity behind holding people on high regard, but like, it shouldn't be to that extent to where they're held on such a high pedestal that if they take one step out of line, then the whole world is going to burn or just, explode. Um, really interesting retrospective track so far.
I'ma stick around. I'm gonna let my nuts hang. Nigga, you got some just like me, don't you? Or maybe not just like me, you know I'm Africano, Americano. And even if you have Japanese roots, run deep, family tree, throw a big shadow. Tech company, please give me immortality. I'm going rapidly, fading drastically. Yeah. I pull a zip down. Wet your lips first, lick the tip now. Smoke some.
I've liked the kind of references, or at least shout outs to some of his inspirations or people that other artists that have kind of inspired him in a way, like Tupac. I think I've seen Michael Jackson. I think I've seen there was a song earlier with a lot of shout outs to people. Pimp C, yep, that one, and then somebody else too. But definitely appreciating those if you know who those people are. I mean, obviously, probably most people know who Tupac is, but do people know who Pimp C is? Probably not. Not as famous, but no, I'm not going to say that because I know that's a heavy topic.
I keep quiet and let you run your phone bill up. I know you love to talk. I ain't on your schedule. I ain't on no schedule. I ain't had me a job since 2009. I ain't on no sales floor. You say I'm changing up. I feel like Selena. They wanna murder a nigga. Murder me like Selena. You must.
So another kind of reference slash shout out, even though I don't think it's really a shout out, but so Selena was a pop star who was killed. Yeah, no, she was murdered. Um, Interesting kind of reference to bring up, and what a way to feel. If you feel if you feel like somebody that has been murdered, like, I don't know how you can go any deeper into emotion than that, or a feeling than that.
Must ain't get the memo. I don't cut bitches no more. But your bitch my exception. Come get her out of my photo. I only got one photo. Remember when I had that Lexus? No, our friendship don't go back that far. Tyler slept on my sofa, yeah. Niggas go back that far. I ain't smoked all year. This the last song, so I'm finna wipe that off. Tolerance is so low. Still smoke a whole gar. Menage on my birthday. Tap out on the first stroke. 'Cause this ain't no work day. She don't give head anyway.
Okay, so we are kind of just reminiscing a lot Um, we're going back to when Tyler slept on his sofa. I'm assuming that's Tyler, the creator, right? Because I think they work together a lot. Yeah, yeah, close ties to Tyler, the creator. Um, Member of Odd Future. Wait, was Frank a member of Odd Future? Uh, I don't know like all the members of that. I know very few actually, but I know that Tyler and him work together. Um, Menage on my birthday, tap out on the first stroke. Obviously referencing like a menage a trois, which is a threesome. Um, Interesting song so far. There's kind of led a lot of content that is probably self-referential in a way, showing where he's been.
Cause what niggas say, that's what she tell a man. What a difference this is makes. Niggas won't fight in the streets now. Shit starting to make my hands hurt. Jay hit me on the email, said I ought to act my network. Dog, this is chess now. Now fetch, I ain't running for a nigga. Ain't ran since track meets. That's the only time I ran from a nigga. You could change this track now. Could've changed this bitch a long time ago. No, ain't, no, and no. Shout out to Holly Grove. I'm from that 7th though. Twins, no, and Lance, no. Mark, no, and Matt, no.
Shout out to Holly Grove. What is Holly Grove? Just located in the 17th Ward. So it's a city in New Orleans, which is where he grew up, right? Okay, so it's probably referencing a lot of just his life, growing up in that area. I'm assuming. Um, we're learning, I think, a lot about kind of like his history in a way through this song. I'm sure there was a lot of other history or a lot about his life in other songs, but this seems just a huge kind of thing of like, hey, this is all the crap that I've done. This is where I've been. This is where I'm at now, making, what do you say, 400, 600, 800K, something like that.
Shit went 180 on me. Please run that back though.
You say some shit about me, tell the real story. That shit happened the same time. It works on both sides. The second time, Jerron was there, nigga. Oh God, he grabbed me and drugged me, and another nigga tried to. Oh yeah, Jerron told me that your ass best told me. Yeah, because the nigga tried to boom me in my face. I had AD in a headlock. First time I saw this nigga like.
Okay. Interesting. So there is this song is 9 minutes and 24 seconds. So I know there's some other content to this, but I'm curious what the nothing, just the empty space, has to do with everything. I'm not sure how long this is gonna go on, but I know there's at least one other part to the song. I mean, given how there's still 4 minutes left. Yeah. Very interesting.
Make sure you speak up. Okay. What's your name?
Okay.
Yo.
So, what was the function? What was the purpose of that space? Um, I think it's to separate the first part from whatever we're gonna get now, but I guess I just don't understand how that works into everything. If there is just this moment of nothing. I don't know. It's kind of just making me think. It's making me go a little nuts, honestly.
Oh, hey, be quiet. What's your name? What do you do? What's your first memory?
The first word I learned to say, or that I ever said.
What's the most amazing thing you've ever witnessed?
Interesting kind of concepts that are being brought up, like your first memory. I can hardly remember my first memory. I think it has to do with like a Frankenstein. Yeah, it was like a Frankenstein toy that you can kind of open and like adjust like all the parts in his body. But that was when I was like 3 years old, which is like a really really odd memory. But it's coming up right now because of like that question. What's the most amazing thing you've ever witnessed? Probably like a concert or something. I don't know. There's been quite a few moments, but that takes longer thought process, you know.
Alright. What 3 superpowers do you wish you had?
Ooh. Super speed, flight, and super strength. Honestly, yeah, that'd be sick.
Wait, my bad. Hey, say it again. Just say it loud. Alright, hey, what's your name? Maybe we can get a little bit. A little bit.
I can sleep without like being dead, but forever at the same time.
I wish I could sleep without like being dead, but forever at the same time. I wish I could sleep without being dead, but forever at the same time. What? There are things said throughout this album that are just like, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard. There was a moment earlier with that about, what was it, Frank saying something about the dreams. I can't quite remember, but just a lot of things that kind of just make you think.
Yo, what's your dog? Stop. Stop. What you mean, bro? Stop.
That's fucked up.
Chloe. Wait, start over.
I want to say that I understand the meaning of all of this, but I probably don't. It seems like a good way to kind of wrap up the album, though, because in a way it makes you think about all these just random questions of life. Just lots of streams of consciousness, and that's kind of what it seems like to me. You know, lots of questions that kind of just make you think in a way, like your first memory, for example. Like that's a big one. Could really, I don't know. Everybody's first memory is probably different. Nobody has the same first memory. It's all our own individual experience.
Talents? Any secret talents?
I don't think so. I'm pretty open about everything that I do.
This is interesting. You know, kind of just a lot of interesting questions. What's the worst thing about being me? I mean, I could tell you about me personally, but, you know, I'll probably hold off on that. I think it's funny that he said having bushy eyebrows. Like, if that's the worst of your problems, then you probably have it pretty good, because that's something that can be managed. That's something that's not internal, like some kind of just mental thing that's happening within you. Uh,
Talents. I can play the theremin.
Whoa, wait. Did we not mention that earlier? I didn't say the actual word, but I was talking about, the thing with the pole and the ball and then this thing. That's a theremin, right? I'm going to need to look that up. I'm actually gonna, you know what? Screw it. This is my video. I can do whatever I want. I'm going to look up a theremin right now. You can do so too. But a theremin. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah, so it's like this weird like box with kind of just like a pole. And I know that if you turn it on, you can like stick your hand in the middle and it creates like these kind of like wavelengths that make this high pitched sound. And I'm pretty sure that it was in one of the songs. I mean, the same song I was talking about it earlier. Which is so interesting that that was brought up. That's really funny. Um, hmm, Having some technical difficulties apparently. There we go.
Probably Tyler. His life seems really awesome. No, actually, no. Fuck him. I don't know. Probably Dill, because he doesn't have to do anything at all. Just sits inside his house.
What's your name?
Sage Alcessor.
What do you do?
I play soccer, and I go to school. I want to be better at skating.
So I don't really know who any of these people are. I don't know if we're supposed to. Like Sage Alcessor. I don't know who that is. I don't know if I'm supposed to know who that is though. They just kind of sound like kids to me, and kind of just like I don't know, just asking random life questions. Like, how often do you really answer questions like this? You know, um, just weird, out of left field questions. Except for like, what do you do? They asked. The funny thing is, they asked all these huge questions first, and now they're breaking it down to smaller things like, what's your name? What do you do? Interesting. Interesting to go big and then go smaller.
Probably jump off something really high. Super high. Try to land on like handstands.
Alright, that's it.
Spend a couple hours with my family, and I go out and do everything that I ever thought about trying.
That's it. How far is a light year? How far is a light year?
Spend a couple hours with my family, and then I'll go out and just do everything that I ever thought about doing. That's a good way to be, that's a good way to live. I don't know if they necessarily did those things, but it kind of seems like one of those conversations where you say things like that, but don't necessarily see them through. How far is a light year? Huh. And that's this is the last bit of words throughout this entire album. How far is a light year? Which is, just like this huge kind of broad question. And the answer is a second, 1,000 years. Let me just finish this off real quick. Wow. That was a really interesting track. Kind of hard to break apart, in a way. Because, in the first part, we're going through basically Frank's life and talking about everything that he's gone through, all his experiences. Not all of them, but, it's just a brief recap of his life. And then we go forward to these kind of like an interview going on with kids. I'm not really sure how old these people are or if we know these people. And they are just some of the biggest questions you could ask somebody. How far is the light year? Does anybody know that? If you're a scientist, you probably know that, but I don't know that off the top of my head. I wouldn't even have a guess. That's it. Yeah, that was Blonde. It was beautiful. That was a really well put together piece of work. There was a lot of questions that I had. I think a lot of weird stream of consciousness that just comes out of no, well, that's not true. It does come out of somewhere. It comes out of a lot of the lines that Frank Ocean says. I think that, I don't know, you can go deeper on. You can ask yourself about it, and that's actually really cool. It's kind of really reflective in a way. I've thought about a lot of things over the course of this album that I haven't thought about in a while, or haven't thought about in general. And I think that's pretty special in its own. Great album. I think my favorite song on the album was probably still Pink plus White, but that's just because I think structurally it was a song I could listen to on repeat, while the rest of this is, I think, part of an experience, it seems to me. That's it. That's it. I have a lot to think about and process after this one. Thank you for joining me. This has been a really cool one. If you enjoyed this, let me know. If you have any more suggestions about albums, more Frank Ocean reactions, let me know. Other than that, have a beautiful day. Okay. Bye!